And that's when we said, hey, let's get Adidas in here.
And we're back. Black Lights Podcast. I mean, truly, we have Detroit royalty up in the house with us today. Miss Tandra Williams, welcome to the Black Lights Podcast.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Super excited to have you. For those who don't know, she is the co-owner of Puffer Reds. Started as a small album store, right, and record store, and now is truly like a cultural entertainment destination. So we're really excited to have you. For you to be here and get to know a little bit about you, your husband, and your story. So curious to know just how you guys even came about with the ideation in reference to Puffer Reds. And did you ever think it would be to the magnitude that it is today?
Well, no, but to take you to our journey, I have to take you back 45 years at the beginning.
Okay.
Wow.
And if you remember late 1979, Afros was on the way out the door, platforms, bell bottoms, disco music was on the way out the door, AM radio was on the way out, and then on the scene was FM radio, 12-inch records,
Right.
8-track cassette
Cassettes,
tapes,
yeah,
and all of that, and that's how we began it. So for us, Eric is from Inkster, Michigan. I'm from Romulus, and so we're like right in the like a offset of Detroit.
Yeah.
And so, but for us to go to a music store, we had to go to the suburbs. And so we decided, well, let's just put one right here in Romulus, and have, And so that's where it started. And fast forward to like the mid 80s, well, right when the transition was, we started selling 8-track tapes, 45s, 12-inch records, and came along drippy jerry curls and designer jeans.
Yeah.
Remember the Calvin Klein's,
Yeah.
Sassoon, and
Yeah.
Gloria Vanderbilt's, and that's when we started sprinkling that into our store. And back then, all those jeans just had one kind of pocket, and so we would silk screen T-shirts to go with the jeans. Yeah.
Got you.
Fast forward to mid 80s, and Run DMC started rapping about my Adidas.
Adidas, yeah.
Everybody wanted that look, and that's when we said, hey, let's get Adidas in here. And
Gotcha.
so that part,
Yeah.
and that's began to just evolve around that lifestyle store.
Shout out to Adidas, because Adidas, they're great partners of yours.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. They were probably the first footwear company that did take a chance on us. A lot of people told us no.
Yeah.
But they, they did accept us.
No, for sure. And again, shout out to Adidas because, not a lot of brands get behind communities the way Adidas does. So I
Yes.
just want to make sure that we shout them out and show them some love.
Yeah, 100%. Even now, today, they're still just as involved with our community efforts and just always there to support. So,
Yeah, and show love.
100%.
I mean, when you first started, right, like you had this vision of a record store comes to life. Did you ever see it becoming a staple for music and fashion, or it just kind of happened that way?
It just happened that
Right.
way because then, when you get into the 90s, you had like your Maurice Malone and Carl Kanai
Yes,
that
shout
came
out to them.
along.
Yeah.
That started the urban culture look. And then you got to Get Used, Damaged, and Baby Fat, and Rockaware, and all of those.
Yeah.
And then you had the rap culture that was rapping about, like, Biggie Smalls rapping about my Coochie this, and so hey, let's sell some Coochie,
Right.
and and it just kind of evolved around that. And not only that, also what happened in the 90s was the videos, the music videos. All the kids wanted whatever the rappers and stuff were wearing in the music videos, and so that at that point, our store was a third music, a third footwear, a third apparel, and it just meshed.
Yeah.
Right.
It just came together like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
As it evolved, is it still that way? Is it still like a third, or?
No, we closed the music department in 2010.
Okay.
The streaming and downloading and all of that stuff had came into play. I don't even think you can get a CD in your car player anymore.
I don't think
I don't
so
think
either.
so.
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
No.
That's real.
That doesn't
I don't
even
think so.
exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I would say, I mean, ultimately, we know how much music has influenced fashion, and then, but how would you say, like, it really impacted, I guess, even your business strategy? Just, did you feel like you had to change as, like, it was influenced?
Well, of course, yeah. It when we were in the thick of it all, we really had to hide that we were selling music to get apparel, footwear, and apparel.
Got it.
And so nobody understood the concept.
Okay.
You know, nobody understood it and didn't get it.
Yeah, because it's a first. Like, yeah.
Nobody got it, but we, like, look, we even was selling Michael Jackson Thriller jackets. So, you know, that's
I remember those. I remember those really well.
That's how deep it was. But yeah, it just kind of really just all meshed together and evolved like that, you know.
Do you think, because shout out to you and your husband for all the amazing work you've done, first and foremost.
Thank you.
But do you think music influences the fashion, or is it the other way around?
Oh, good question.
Just from what you've seen, because it's changed, right?
Yeah, it has changed. I think that music, whatever the rappers was wearing, that's what, or the music artists, because we had TLC, they had their look too.
Yeah,
and,
they had their real style.
Yeah,
Right.
Michael Jackson had his look.
Right.
So, it all, but sometimes, even now, I think the brands will go to artists to try to get their
stuff off the ground, for sure.
Yeah, so.
Curious as far as, like, who has visited Puffer Reds that you were like, oh my gosh, this person is in my store?
Oh, yeah. I would have to say, wow, Ice Cube, he was just such a nice guy and just really nice. Brian McKnight, he was so nice. And Jaheim, Outkast, they were just so forthcoming in terms of, we had a line wrapped around the store, and they were just so adamant about, nope, we're going to stay here until we sign everything. And those guys, they were just very personable and up close with their fan base.
So what do you think, like, attracted them?
Well, initially, back in the late 90s and stuff, we didn't really have a music video station. It was just MTV, remember?
Right.
And so it was the artist's way of coming out, shaking hands with their friends, getting up close and personal with them. Yep, and
touch and feel them,
Yep, and that was their way of trying to connect with and getting their music off the ground and everything. Until, but then when BET came along and started.
You have a little bit of a different way to touch marketing. People.
Yeah, exactly.
No. When I did my research, like, you guys have been around for so long, and one of the questions that was really tickling me is, like, what's the secret for the longevity, right? Because, like, stores come, stores go, and, we've all seen the world turn upside down, and y'all are still here. What would you say are, like, 2 or 3 things that you have to stay, like, be strong during the storm, but, like, anything you could share? Because I feel like retail and storefronts are now starting to come back because of what happened in COVID. But, like, people who are interested to get in that industry, what would you share?
Well, I would say this. Puffer Red is actually my husband's nickname. They gave it to him when he was young playing football. He was a chubby guy, and they would tease him, call him Puff, and he turned really red. So that's his nickname. So here he is, a 19-year-old kid from the hood, taught himself how to run a business and wouldn't take no for an answer. So, that determination, like, he didn't have no other choice. He didn't have no, he barely made it out of high school. So he was determined, and I would say determination.
Got it.
Don't take no for an answer, and stick to your gut. If that's what if you see that, and you got that vision, and I think you just have to have that determination to do that. Because you have to also, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
So you have to also, you have to also think too back then. So here you have a 21, 22-year-old kid trying to get a loan to get a business, or trying to get a loan to get a building, and no collateral, no nothing. And how many times you had been turned down, even just that part, and how many times we went after different vendors and different brands, and it's like, no, we're not opening up no more brands, and just not taking no for an answer, and just keep on grinding, going, oh, I'm gonna try it this way.
So as we look, because we said 1979, so that's 4 decades.
Mm-hmm.
What excites you more so as you look ahead as far as the future of Puffer Reds?
Well, so now we're the old kids on the block, right? But interesting enough that we have some very young talent on our team, and we know now that, like, we've been trying to do this all ourselves, and our kids keep kind of telling us, like, you need some young people there to keep you,
Relevant.
make you relevant and
Mm-hmm.
everything, know what they know, and sit at the table with them and listen to them and what is hot out there and what's going on in the marketplace, and and that's been a challenge for us because we've been like doing it ourselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's funny because, like, when you said that, as soon as you were explaining that, I wanted to know, like, how have you pushed through that? Because I feel like there's gatekeepers, there's passing on the torch, and, after you've been doing something for so long, someone who's 25 trying to tell you what to do, that's hard to actually digest, right?
Yeah.
So, how has that process been for you?
Well, we had to fall on our face, we had it, and I'll take you to the 2010 to the 20,
So that 10 year run.
Yeah, that era, business was bleak, and it took us a long time. We struggled with trying to get our website off the ground. E-commerce was becoming a
big
popular thing, and trying to get it right, and just trying to do it ourselves until, like, our son kept, like, my oldest son, he was just really, like, hard on us about, like, listen to me, you gotta get Facebook, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, and you finally heard him. And so,
No, for sure. I mean, shout out to you, because sometimes it's hard to hear.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So a question that we typically ask too, as far as for those up and coming, right? That even though this is like just new age generation, I know we talked about, the determination piece of it, but we like to always share, like, any gems that you could leave with someone, like, that is really trying to, get themselves within the industry or start their own store. Like, what would you share with them specifically?
I would say that, right now, I've seen kids that get so caught up in social media and, like, got the fast thing, and a lot of times it's not going to happen overnight. It's just not going to happen like that.
Right.
And, like, that hard work and that
Patience.
yeah, that bump and grind that you get in there every day. We still put in 60, 70 hours a week sometimes, and it's hands-on business owners, and people think that, like, okay, I'm going to start my own business, I'm going to go on vacation, I'm going to do what I want to do. It ain't like that. Like, if you really want to succeed, I really feel like you have to be a hands-on business owner.
For real.
Be there.
It's because that's you're going to learn your business that way. You're going to touch and feel it. Right? Any tricks or tips that you would give? Because, like, we were speaking to someone earlier about her career and her journey, and her thing, she was like, make sure you got a lawyer no matter what you do. But anything that you would lend your advice to someone who wants to open a store, just be in business generally?
Yeah, that part.
Have your attorney.
Yeah, have your attorney, have a good accountant, pay your taxes, make sure you have a good business banker that you can go to and everything. And one thing that I think we always fell short on is not having a business plan. We just kind of always went off the hip. Oh, let's do this. Oh, okay, let's do this. Let's do this. But never really having a business plan. We had a vision, but never really had a business plan. And a lot of people
that makes sense.
One of the other things too, and I am going off a little cadence, but because my husband is an entrepreneur. He knows him well. And I think it's sometimes difficult doing business with your spouse. How has that been as far as just even that journey, right? Because at the end of the day, you have a set goal in mind, right? But you have a responsibility to one another, right? On the personal level and then on the business level. So how did you, like, navigate that?
I'm from a family of business owners. I worked with my brothers and sisters in an ice cream place every Sunday. So I kind of already had that part figured out.
Gotcha.
But when it came to Eric, I didn't start with the store until 1991, something like that, right when music started. I never wanted to be the boss. It can only be one boss. I never wanted to be the boss.
Yeah.
And so, I let him be the boss. He makes great decisions. He got a good vision, and I just take it. I'm more on the customer service. I'm more of a people person. He's not. And so we know our spaces.
Yeah.
We know our,
Right,
And
right. Stay in your lane.
Stay in our lane, yeah. And we bump heads every once in a while, and let him have his way most of the time. But
Listen, so I've learned that sometimes you just got to know when to not say anything,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's just been kind of been the key,
Yeah.
We're good friends, so,
Yeah. Y'all been together for a long time, too.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah. 36 years.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's a blessing. That's
Yeah.
a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
I know Eric can be with us today. Is there anything that you would think that he would say, that he would want listeners to?
Well, I know that he is honored right now. Like, he was just so excited about, you make sure you do this, make sure. He's just been tickled. He is tickled that he had this opportunity to share his story. And I know that he's a very, very, very appreciative and grateful. Both of us are for the community that that has supported us, because without that Ypsilanti community, there would not be none. We had some great people right now, even on our team. I know that he would want to say thank you to them as well. We got some great young talent. We have people that's been with us for close to 10 years now. And
so we also talk a lot about legacy, right? And so, nobody gets out of here alive, unfortunately, right?
Yeah.
But as far as you think ahead, will your children take on, or who?
My oldest son, all three of them had worked in the business.
Okay.
And so, when you start them out that young and stuff, they're going to, eventually, I'm done this, I'm tired of this. And so a couple of them, that's where they're at. But my oldest son, his name is Eric. I call him Little Eric. Hey, Little Eric. So he does our website, and he does an amazing job with it. He keeps us, he's always in
locked
there.
in.
Yeah. He's just always in tune with us and everything. And so he would be the one to probably take over, I would say.
That's dope.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's
We
awesome.
got some team members that would be nice to take over as well.
You talked earlier about you coming from a family of business people. And this is kind of off script, but I just wanted to know, in your mind, is there a difference between bringing an idea to life versus doing business, or is it the same?
Say that again.
So bringing an idea to life versus doing business, because I feel like it's two completely different things. But I'm just curious what you think.
I think bringing an ideal to life is part of it all. Right now we've been doing these turkey giveaways for the last 5 or 6 years now.
Right.
Okay, everybody's doing turkey giveaways now. Let's think of outside
What's
of the
a
box.
different
way to do
Let's
it?
do
Yeah.
something different,
Yeah.
And so even sitting at the round table with our team, coming
Right.
up with those ideas, that's the fun part of it
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
And so I think did I answer your
Yeah,
question?
you did. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like we're living in a stage now where things can come to life so fast that we don't focus on the business of it, right? So it's like you said earlier, the point I'm trying to drive is we could all sit here and ideate till we're crazy, but no one does a business plan of how are we actually going to make money from this? Because that's what business actually is, right? It's supposed to have a profit at the end of the day.
Exactly.
So that's why it's just interested to know, because sometimes people are so heavy into just the idea, and don't spend time on what does the business look like.
But even what you were touching on, it's really truly just the community engagement. I think it's so important because it's just again relevance. That's marketing, one-on-one, staying relevant. The community being able to identify and knowing who Puffer Reds and what it is and what you guys believe in. I also think just to connect with the consumer is so big too.
Yeah. And I think that we're at that crossroads right now as well, because for the most part, most of our business has been 80% men. And now we're getting all this chatter in our ear that, oh, wait a minute, you guys forgot about the women. What about the women? And now they're becoming more and more prevalent in the marketplace, in terms of being the breadwinners of the family and
Got it.
running the households and stuff, and hey, let's try to reach this demographic as well.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely.
No, that's dope. What excites you? Because after being an OG in the game, looking forward with all of the changes, social media, this, that, all the things, what excites you?
So I asked Eric that question because I was just like, what is it really like? What keeps pushing you? And he is just like, so now we're in another transition, and so now we get to see how we're going to handle this, how we're going to maneuver ourselves through this here part. We're right in the middle of a facelift right now, remodeling, and still trying to stay relevant, and trying to keep that cool kid interested in us, and and it's even just that part, like, how do we reach that cool kid? Because all you want to do is wear Crocs. Like, they're not sneakerheads. They just want Crocs.
Crocs and socks.
Yeah. And so, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
And so, like,
it's almost learning a new culture.
Yeah, exactly.
It is,
exactly.
actually.
It is.
Not almost.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, man, this has been wonderful as far as even just to be able to have you in our presence. And again, Eric, we missed you, but we're really excited, one, to even, like I said, to be able to even learn your story, but then, be able to follow even where you're going to take it, and love that you are passing it down to the next generation. Last question, and I don't want to take it from my brother, so I'm going to have him explain it as far as...
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
All right, so let me give you the background, so then
Okay.
you can answer it.
Okay.
So one of the questions that Dion always speaks about is, it's called tunnel talk. And he gives this example of, if you ever watch the Williams sisters, like Venus Williams, Serena Williams, right? And like, even that story is dynamic, right? When you talk about just people of color and entering a new space, much like yourselves, right? Like, you guys truly were innovative and ahead of the game, 1979, and then to be able to grow it from, like I said, a record store to then having the vision to add apparel and footwear and all of that. But clearly, when you watch Serena Williams before she comes out to the tennis court, like, it's all dark and stuff, and you're like, what is going on in her head? Like, what is she talking to herself to be able to amp her up, right? To be able to go out there and handle her business, right?
Okay.
And so my question for you, and even if you're thinking just you, but then also Eric, like, what's your tunnel talk when you got to walk into a room and be able to, get after it?
Eric says it best, and he will tell anybody, like, I walk into that store every day like it's my first day. Like, this is the first day, and I still got to keep it going and everything. And really, Shay, sometimes I have to knock on his, look, get out that office, go walk, get out that chair, go walk around some. But because he's so, he's
locked
so
in.
Locked in.
He's so zoned in on it every day and stuff. So, I think, to go back to answer your question, I think just having that mindset every day to come in and act like this is the first day. I'm going to keep it, I got to keep it going. We don't have no place else to go. I can't go out and get another job. He can't go out and get another job. It's either do
That's
or die.
y'all's investment.
It's so either do or die.
I love that. It's either do or die.
So here's an important question that we haven't asked.
Okay.
What's on your playlist right now?
Oh, wow. Listen. I love Lucky Day. I love SZA, and I love all the new artists that are up and coming.
Got it.
It's just this, my playlist, I probably won't nobody understand. Even when I try to share it with my husband or my kids, they're like, what? What is this? But they end up becoming hits.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll sing a line from a song, like, I don't know the artist name, but it says this. Yeah.
I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for blessing us with all that knowledge.
Oh, thank you. It's been such an honor to be here. And when Adidas asked us about this, we couldn't say no, because they've never said no to us.
And that part too, like, I feel like, shout out to Adidas, because not every brand supports the community the way that they do. So I just want to make sure we acknowledge them for bringing you out, sharing a real story, OG story.
Yeah.
But thank you so much.